Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to what promises to be a gripping, emotionally charged battle on the clay courts. A match that, at first glance, might seem straightforward, but beneath the surface, it is anything but simple. This is not merely a contest between two players. This is a collision of identities, a clash of philosophies, a test of patience versus power. This is Alexandra Eala against Jelena Ostapenko, and what we are about to witness is control versus chaos. Because that's what defines this matchup at its core. On one side, you have Eala, composed, methodical, and quietly relentless. On the other, Ostapenko, explosive, unpredictable, and capable of brilliance or breakdown within the same breath. And when those two worlds collide, the result can swing wildly, dramatically, and sometimes even violently in terms of momentum. Coming into this round of 16 at the Linz Open, both players arrive carrying very different emotional and competitive trajectories. Eala is riding a wave of growing confidence. Her previous match was a test of nerves and resilience, where she faced relentless pressure and stared down danger repeatedly, saving 9 out of 10 breakpoints. That's not just a statistic, that's a statement. It tells you about her mindset, her ability to endure, to stay present, to fight through moments where others might crumble. On clay, a surface that rewards patience and intelligence, she looked increasingly at home. Ostapenko, however, enters this match surrounded by uncertainty. She is the embodiment of high-risk, high-reward tennis. When she's on, she can dismantle opponents in a matter of minutes, striking winners from impossible angles, taking the racket out of her opponent's hands. But when her timing falters even slightly, the errors begin to creep in, and then they flood. Matches can spiral away from her just as quickly as she can dominate them. There is very little middle ground. And this is where things become truly fascinating. Eala leads their head-to-head record 2-0. That's not coincidence. That's pattern. That's proof that stylistically, this matchup presents a real problem for Ostapenko. Because Ostapenko thrives on pace. She wants the ball coming fast so she can redirect it even faster. She wants points to be short, sharp, and decisive. In her ideal world, rallies are over within the first 4 shots. Serve, return, 1 strike, and finish. That's her rhythm. That's her comfort zone. That's where she's most dangerous. But Eala doesn't play that game. Eala absorbs. She neutralizes. She stretches rallies beyond their natural breaking point. She forces her opponent to hit not just 1 extra ball, but 2, 3 for more shots than they're comfortable with. And against a player like Ostapenko, that is where the cracks begin to form. We've seen it before, on hard courts, on grass. And now the question becomes even more compelling on clay. Because clay changes everything. This indoor clay surface slows the game down. The ball doesn't skid through. It sits up, inviting longer exchanges, giving defenders just enough time to recover, to reset, to respond. And that is exactly what Eala needs. She doesn't need to overpower Ostapenko. She doesn't need to out-hit her. She just needs time. Time to track the ball, time to construct points, time to extend rallies beyond that critical threshold. And that threshold, make no mistake, is the heartbeat of this match. 5 shots. If rallies stay under 5 shots, the advantage is clearly with Ostapenko. When she's dictating early, striking cleanly, and finishing points quickly, she can overpower almost anyone on tour. Her shot-making becomes suffocating, her aggression relentless. But once rallies stretch beyond that 5th shot, the dynamic shifts, subtly at first, then dramatically. The longer the rally, the more Ostapenko is forced to think, to adjust, to control her power. And that's where the error count begins to rise. 1 mistimed forehand, 1 rushed backhand, and then another, and another. And here's the critical part. Ostapenko doesn't always adjust when that happens. Instead of pulling back, she often presses harder. She goes for more. She tries to hit through the problem rather than around it. And in doing so, she can unravel. But let's not pretend this is a one-sided equation. There's real danger here for Eala, serious danger. Because if Ostapenko comes out firing, if her timing is locked in from the very first point, this match can get away from Eala very quickly. Eala has shown a tendency to start slowly. Even in her previous match, she needed time to find her rhythm, to settle into the court, to feel her shots. Against most players, that's manageable. But against someone like Ostapenko, that window of adjustment can be brutally punished. You don't get time. You get attacked. You get rushed. You get hit off the court before you've even found your footing. So the opening games of this match are absolutely crucial. They will set the emotional tone, the tactical direction, the psychological balance. If Eala is immediately pushed onto the defensive and cannot establish a rhythm, she risks losing the first set in a flash. And once that happens, the pressure shifts dramatically. But if she can weather that early storm, if she can absorb the initial blows and extend those rallies, everything begins to tilt in her favor. Because this is where Eala's greatest strength comes into play, her composure. She doesn't panic. She doesn't rush. She doesn't abandon her game plan. She plays each point with intention, with discipline, with belief. On clay, that mindset becomes even more powerful. She is comfortable grinding, comfortable defending, comfortable waiting for the right moment. Most importantly, she trusts the process. Ostapenko, by contrast, trusts her shot-making. And when it's working, it's devastating. She becomes one of the most dangerous players in the world, capable of hitting winners from anywhere, at any time. But when that trust is shaken, when the shots stop landing, that same aggression can turn against her. And that is why this match is so compelling. Because it's not simply about who is the better player overall. It's about who can impose their rhythm, who can drag the match into their preferred territory. Short points favor Ostapenko. Long rallies favor Eala. It really is that simple. And yet, within that simplicity lies incredible complexity. Then there's the pressure, the invisible force that shapes decisions, tightens muscles, and whispers doubt into the mind. Eala walks onto this court with freedom. She has already beaten Ostapenko twice. She has nothing to prove, nothing to defend. She is building confidence, growing with every match, playing with a sense of possibility rather than expectation. Ostapenko, on the other hand, carries the weight. She is the higher-ranked player, the seeded contender, the one expected to advance. And she knows she's 0-2 against this opponent. That knowledge lingers. It creeps in during tight moments. And if things start to go wrong early, that pressure can become overwhelming. We've seen it before. The frustration, the rushed shots, the visible tension. So how does this unfold? There are two clear paths this match can take. If Ostapenko comes out sharp, minimizes her errors, and dominates the early exchanges, she can take control quickly and close the match in straight sets. Fast, aggressive, suffocating tennis that denies Eala any rhythm. But if Eala survives that early phase, if she extends rallies, forces Ostapenko into longer exchanges, and drags the match into deeper waters, then the balance shifts. The longer it goes, the more it favors her. And based on everything we've seen, that second scenario feels more likely. Not because Ostapenko lacks the ability to dominate. She absolutely has it. But because sustaining that level of precision and aggression over 2 full sets against a player like Eala is incredibly demanding. So the prediction? Eala in 3 sets. Not because she will be better in every moment, but because she will endure longer in the moments that matter most. And in a match defined by control versus chaos, sometimes survival is the greatest weapon of all.